Hello. This is the first try to make Andersen's coffee cup in English. In German it's called Andersen's Kaffeetasse. And I know I can't do it. That's the reason why I do it. Let me explain. This is, by the way, a podcast that is extremely slow. I call it the slowest podcast of the world. But it may be not, but that's not important. I've learned English over the last 10 years because I wanted to be more international connected man. I wanted writing lyrics in English for my music and communicate in English and working with people both sides of the Atlantic. And that's the way it was. But there is, we say in German, eine Menge Luft nach oben. There are some possibilities left open, I would say. And I wondered if I still wonder if I could make a whole podcast in English language, because my vocabulary in the doing words, the verbs are not good. I only know some of them and only the simplest and the international one, but not the really English one. I have an app that's called Nudge.me. And it shows verbs to me I never seen and explain it with other I never have seen. And so my learning progress is slow as my thinking and speaking in this podcast. I'm not always as slow as here, hopefully, but I'm over 60. I'm 60, actually. And I have to accept that I'm not young anymore, and I do. And so I'm fine with this slower going of the life. You get more of it. You are more aware of every moment when you slow down the things. The concept in this podcast is not to have a concept and declare and feel that as freedom. Does it work? Who knows? We'll see. And so I'm meandering and speaking out my mind in a slow way. And I think there will be not a mass market for it, but I'm totally fine with it. I'm sitting here in Schwerin, in Mecklenburg-Vorpommern in Germany. And this is in a northeastern capital in Germany. Germany has federal states, and this state is called Mecklenburg-Vorpommern. And that are two different areas, Mecklenburg and Vorpommern. And Vorpommern is related to a region, or was historically related to a region that is in Poland, Pommern. And I think it actually means land on the sea. There is the Baltic Sea, and Mecklenburg also have a Baltic Sea shore that's really, really beautiful, and you should come and see it. So Mecklenburg was the area of very special Slavic I'm out of words. People that are in charge, that are ruling the country in 1,000 years ago, how you call them. And Vorpommern was from the Preußen genannt, and Hohenzollern. And these people would ask from Poland and some parts of the history to rule Poland, to unite it. And the region Vorpommern was part of that, and the region Mecklenburg never was. And so you have not a really consistent country here. And we have not as many people living in this federal state of Mecklenburg-Vorpommern as living in the city of Hamburg. That's an hour away to drive by car. And so you can imagine there is a lot of space here where not so many people live. But if you come here, you would be astonished how beautiful the nature is in this land. It's such what shall I say, a living land. If you go outside and take away the green from a place and let it that way, it only needs a couple of days and it's green again. And I love this kind of nature that can't be really destroyed if you are not going with chemicals or with destroying the soil and destroying the millions of bacteria in that and different insects and so on, you know. It's a beautiful country, it's astonishing. I'm living here in an apartment near lakeshore, and when I'm walking alongside the lakeshore, the next lake is waiting, is laying on the other hand, and in 30 minutes I can easily walk on 3 lake shores or 4. It depends on how you count it. And that's a very special place here in Schwerin, the capital of Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, which is located in the west of the country. So Vorpommern is very far away from it. And when I'm looking outside, there is a tree. In German it's called Bergahorn. I have to look up what it means in English, I don't know. But there's a tree that's really high, so that I'm on a second floor, feeling living in the green here. I open my window. I will do it. And by the way, the blackbird isn't singing anymore. That's crazy. But it's August and I don't know where it is. Okay, and here are colors of green and yellow in several shades directly before my window, and helps me not to get too warm in this room. And that's so beautiful, but I'm leaving this. And this is the time the decisions are made and the contracts were made, have been made, and I have to prepare to move, to change my whole life and go in a situation that's not that comfortable. In the cases I have spoken about by now. But in different ways it is. I'm going to a place that's wonderful, crafted, wonderful, terraformed after it was exploited, and they got coal out of the soil, and now there are lakes, beautiful lakes where you can swim, and it's beautiful at the one hand and it's good for the climate at the other hand, and I like it there very much. So the other reason is there are so many people living there, and here are so less people. That I think the opportunities will be much more different. And I'm a musician. I'm a musician by, not by living from it by now, I would if I could, but I can't here because I haven't a base audience that would pay for it. I have a base audience here, nice people, women my age, and a little younger, but here aren't students of higher education schools, so there is no really cultural scene that is frugal, you know. I hope that's the right word. I don't know. And so I have to go to the south of Eastern Germany, and the other really important reason to go there is to meet my daughters and their husband. And their relations, and my grandson, and hopefully my granddaughter too. So I'm excited at the one hand, and I know it's the right decision, and I'm looking forward to do it. And at the other hand, I lived here for 60 years with a short gap of 7 years as I was younger, as I was 16 to 23. I was in the south of Eastern Germany before, in a time where I didn't have the right, as the most of the other people too, to go to the West. This was a socialist country until it changed 1989, 1990. And you say the wall is gone down. Was. And we say it's a big change. There are very difficult political times where you are, I know, and where I am too. And sometimes I think I never had said it before in a podcast. And maybe it was a U-turn. Okay. But in a different way, that's clear. I was 7 years in the world. You know, a really small part of the world, but I was far away from here. And I found a girl, and I served in the army. I was a musician in the army. I learned to know music business people. I have learned in that time to write songs professionally and to arrange it, and in some directions to produce it, because I had some recording sessions in the radio station, and it was something in the Eastern Germany, and the so-called GDR. And later on I had a band, but that was after the change. And I'm still here. I'm going now. It's my right time, I think. But sometimes I think it could have happened 10 years before. It were not bad. It would have been not bad. Yes, that's me. And what I do here is to stumble about things in my head and talk it out. And I don't know if I could, as fluent I could as be special thinking and questions of life questions, of some deep thoughts about life and politics and much more thoughts about being alive and what it means today and what it means to you, and what are the opportunities, what are the flaws, what are the positive things, mostly that can enrich, is there such a word, your life, if you are aware of them. And that's what I try, and I don't know if I could do it. I wonder if I could do it in English by now, and I would like to get, where I go to, a group of people are that help me, who help me to get a little more fluent and a little more able to express what I really think about it and what I want to say. Why I'm able to talk that way I do now is backwards seeing. Had a short connection to an American guy who really talked a lot with me. That was very helpful. And before I find out that I can structure my thinking much more easier when I do it in a foreign language. That was a wild experience, but it worked. It worked very well, and so I do it. When it's not clear in German for me, I can use this method to write down my thoughts in English, and then I have to use less words, and I have to reduce these thoughts to the essence. And that's the way to get much faster and much easier to the essence of the thought and write it down and structure it. That's very helpful. That's very helpful. If I do it in German, I have too much thoughts of it and I write them down. I use mind mapping for that. And a mind mapping tool on the computer, I love it. It's called Mind Manager, but I hate their marketing policy. That's crazy. You can have a yearly description of $250 euros, and I have the standalone version from 2020 and it works, but I won't get some little add-ins and the net connectability to work with other people's if I don't pay $250 a year for it. Strange shit. It's for organizations, not for people. Okay, but I love the software. I love to use it, and I do for 20 years. And let's talk about software. No, we do it on another day. It's enough for the day. And if you heard it and you don't like it, don't do anything. And if you heard it and you like it and you have an idea for me, feel free to contact me. I would like to. This is a challenge, I know, but if it wouldn't be a challenge for me too, I never would do that. Okay? That's how I am. This is Andersen's Kaffeetasse in English, Andersen's coffee cup. And if you hear this, you're welcome, my friend.